the new Renault Duster will be coming in January, and I feel like Renault needs to make this car work because, as it stands right now, the company it's not really doesn't really have the brand reputation that it would like to have. I mean, the cars are good, but I mean, considering that Renault isn't really a major player in the market, and if you're not a major player, it's very likely in India you're gonna have to leave. I mean, we saw what happened with Ford and all that. I mean, their cars were good, but they just couldn't manage to stay here with the pricing and all that stuff. And the only thing that could a manufacturer can do to make the price competitive is they can sell a lot of units, and Renault needs to do that. And the Duster, that could be the car to do it. I mean, it's gonna be competing in the mid-size SUV segment, which, in my opinion, is the new hot segment. It used to be the compact SUV segment, but I feel like the people are changing their buying patterns in terms of the cars they want. They want bigger cars that they can take on long trips and travel with a lot of people, family, friends, go on trips and all that stuff. And because of that, this is the new big segment. And when you look at the price of the cars there, they do seem compelling, considering what you're getting. And the price of the compact SUVs, they don't seem as compelling as they used to be when you spec it out, I mean. So yeah, the Duster coming in the mid-size SUV segment, it could be a huge for Renault. But I feel like they need to address one major issue that they have. And it seems like a pattern for them when it comes to their cars that I noticed. Now, the Renault cars, they all seem to be good value for money. The Kiger, the Triber, for the price and what they offer at the price, they seem great. Seem like good quality options. But there's always one thing that is holding those cars back, even with the competitive pricing, and that is the engine options. Now, when you look at the Kiger, for the price that it starts at, and to get a decent spec option, it's really compelling. It seems a lot cheaper than the competition, but for the base model, the Kiger, the engine, it's just a really weak engine. It has a what? I think a 71 horsepower engine for the base models, and this is a car that people are considering when they're looking at a compact SUV. And 71 horsepower is just not enough power. It's not gonna be powerful, and it's not gonna get moving really quickly. And yeah, it's a problem. And I've actually driven the well, I don't know if it's the same engine, but I've driven the Magnite, which has, I think, the same powertrain and the same horsepower, and that thing didn't. It was struggling for the size of the car it was with people in it. So yeah, the Kiger, engine, the base engine is just not good enough, and it's fair. A lot of manufacturers put less powerful base engines in there to get the base price down. But when you look at the options and how much you had to spend to get the next engine, it seems like you had to spend over 10 lakhs. And at that point, you're not really the really budget oriented car that people are looking at. Now you're competing with everything else, and when you're competing with everything else, with that, even if you have more features and all that stuff, the brand image, all that stuff does come into play, and how stable the brand is in the country also comes into play. And because of that, the Kiger just isn't a compelling enough option. And then there's the Renault Triber. Now, for the price and the seating capacity and all that stuff, that seems like a great car too. It seems like, and considering that there's not really that much competition lower down for that type of seating capacity and all that, seems great, but again, that car also has a 71 horsepower engine. And even when you spec it out, from what I've seen, it seems to only have that engine. It doesn't seem to have a more powerful engine. At least the Kaiga has a 99 horsepower or something engine when you go higher up. So, but this thing doesn't even have the option, and it's supposed to be handling that many people. And I guess it's also to cut the costs and all that, but still, it's not good enough. Now, I'm talking about all this stuff because the Duster, I'm worried that it's gonna do the same thing. And I'm not saying that they're gonna put in a 71 horsepower engine into the Duster. That's ridiculous. There's no way they can put that engine into a mid-size SUV. But I am worried that they're gonna try to do some cost cutting and all that, and do the same strategy of putting in a 90 horsepower engine or something into it, and then give it a turbo option that's more powerful when you spec it up. And I don't think that's gonna work because the Renault Duster, it needs to compete in every aspect. And I get it, for a manufacturer that's a lot of costs and they might not make any money on it, but if they can do it without losing money, I think they should at least try it. Because I mean, either you don't make any money and stay in the country, or you lose the market entirely. It is a problem. And if your cars are really compelling and you finally gain a brand reputation, 10 years down the line or something, then you can increase your prices, but people will still buy it because they recognize you as a stable quality brand. But you need to play the long game, and I hope they don't do this, but I'm worried they might, considering what they do with their cars, and the engine could make or break this car. Now the pricing, I'm guessing, is going to be really competitive. It will probably have a lot of features for the price, but the engine is the main thing for these cars. I mean, if you're making an under 5 lakh car, the 71 horsepower thing, that's fine. But for a car that I'm assuming is probably going to cost at least around 15 lakhs to get a second model or something on the road, if it has 90 horsepower or something, it's just not enough. And I am worried, but hopefully Renault has considered this and they put in a proper engine. And honestly, they don't really have to try that hard, because when you look at the competition, I mean, apart from the Creta and I don't know what the engine, base engine, the Seltos, the petrol one is, but the Creta has a decent amount of power. But when you look at the Grand Vitara and even the new Sierra, the power figures aren't that incredible or anything. I think the Grand Vitara has 103 horsepower and high rider too for the base models, and the new Sierra has 106 horsepower. So you don't really have to do too much, but you have to give it a decent engine of around the same figure to compete. And you can do that providing great features. The new Duster could be a hit, and it could make Renault a major brand again. And it could give people the same excitement as when the Quid came out. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens when the Duster comes out, and I'm hopeful that it gives a proper engine.